So today you're going to learn Business Tips 101 with me, right? So again, hopefully you guys can read my handwriting. Again, I'm kind of not the best handwriter, but understand you're about to learn some sauce today. All right, so hopefully you guys are ready for this lesson. So the most important thing when you're running a business, what's the most important thing? I'm going to give you like 2 seconds to guess. All right, cool. The most important thing in business is something called cash. That's all that matters in business. And it's not necessarily cash, it's cash in. You need to be making money. All right? If you need your business to win, I'm going to draw some little money symbols here. Let me get better. It's dollar bills. Each one, dollar, dollar, dollar. Dollar bills. You need cash. Cash is king. And that's how you make money. So when you're thinking about business and you're trying to talk about, oh, I'm running a business. No. What a real business is when you're getting cash coming into your pocket. That's what a business is, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You don't need to make your LLC here. You don't need to make those documents with bullshit on there. You don't need any of that stuff, right? What you need is you need money coming in. So let's talk about a quick example and like exactly what I'm talking about here on Business 101. So like I mentioned, the most important thing is cash, right? Cash is what's important. So when you're thinking about running a business and you're thinking about making money, you want to make money, right? You don't need to put money into the business until it's actually making revenue. So let's talk about a quick example of that. So let's say you start a jewelry brand. What you should do, and this is like what someone who has built business knowledge is telling you, you need to sell the product first before you put money into it. Why would you put money into manufacturing, LLC costs, documentation, when in reality, all you need to do is market it. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. That's all you need. That's all that matters. You don't need to go out and spend a fucking $10,000 on making your type of jewelry manufacturers. No. If you're starting a jewelry company, what you need to do is sell it first, get the money coming in, and make sure you're making a profit. Then the money you take in, you put into manufacturing. What you can say is, hey, Miss Smith, we have a 2-week delay because we're getting a huge supply of jewelry orders coming in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer you a free gift. No, everyone loves free gifts. Who wouldn't want a free gift? You're telling your customer you're going to give them a free gift for being 2 weeks late or a week late. They're going to love you, and they're going to come back forever. So that's number one. That's the biggest tip I can tell you is all that matters in business is cash. That's all that matters, all right? So that's the most important tip I think you should know as a business owner, especially in the e-commerce space, but really in any business specifically. Don't put money into the business until you're making cash on the other side that you can use to put money into it. Once you're making revenue, once you know you can already sell, this doesn't apply to you. This only applies to you if you're starting a business, and that's really who this video is, appealing to. The next most important thing about business is when you're first launching a company, you need people to try it out. The number one person you should tell about your company is your mom. Your mom's gonna be very critical of you. Your mom's gonna be very critical of you. She's gonna be very honest with everything that's going on in your business. So understand that. Pretty obvious, right? So you need to ask people around you for their opinions on the product. And again, most of them are matrix-minded, so they're not gonna understand how actually, businesses work. But what you need to do is simply just ask them for their opinion on it, and that's gonna be really, really good. So now, tip number 2. So first one is cash in. So I'm gonna write here, cash. Hopefully you can see that. Money. That's the most important thing. If you have no cash in, you have no business. So again, don't pay for any documentation yet until you're making a fuck ton of money. Don't pay for LLC formation. By the way, this is not financial advice. This is not any of that stuff. I'm not a professional on any of this stuff. But what I'm telling you is from running a business itself, you want to minimize your costs up front. That's just very generic advice, but it's very good advice. Next, we're going to talk about pricing because I think, yes, it's important to have cash in, but you need to have an appealing offer that gets them to want to buy from you. So let's think logically here and let's think, hey, what makes a person want to buy? The number one thing that makes a person want to buy from you is you need to have an emotion behind your mission and your product and your service, an emotion. Most people have a bullshit, boring business. I don't want boring. Who wants to look at boring? You want fun, you want exciting. Look at all these gambling companies making a ton of money. Do you think they sell from being boring? No, they have all these colors and all these rainbow colors, and they're trying to get people excited to feel a certain emotion. That's how they sell. With any business, I can tell you the top businesses sell because either the way they, usually honestly, it's one thing. It's the way they make you feel. They sell to you because they make you feel a certain way, which makes you want to buy. That's just common knowledge. So the most important thing is cash. The next most important is emotion. So I'm going to write that down. Hopefully you can see this. Emotion. Got to make them feel emotional towards you. You have to have a mission. You have to make them feel something. Or they love you or they hate you. It doesn't matter. But you have to get attention. And this is the most important thing, right? If you want to get attention, you may ask, okay, Colin, I know I need to get attention, but how? The question is, you got to test and see what works out. You have to be able to talk on social media. So you get people talking about you, whether they hate you, whether they love you. It doesn't matter. If they're talking about you, you're winning. That's just the best advice I can tell you. You're not going to win being a stable, middle ground person without any emotions and without a broad message. No. The way you win is by showing emotions. It's plain and simple. All right, so when you look at cash, you're like, okay, I need money in. Great. The way to get more money in is by showing more emotions and by doing more crazy shit that makes people see your stuff and want to buy your stuff. That's literally the secret that most businesses are never going to take ever, and that's what's going to make you a fucking multi-millionaire in 2026. Cash in. Don't put money into things that are unnecessary at all, and don't put any money in at all to anything until you're making cash coming in. Cash in is business. If there's no cash in your business, fuck this shit. Fuck the LLC, fuck the documentation. That shit is irrelevant, especially if you're young, you're starting out. You can't afford any of that shit. But you can afford to, show some emotion. Go online, talk your shit, show your product, make people feel a certain way about your product, and that's gonna make you win. So again, when you're talking about business, it's very easy to get distracted and do things that are not working for your business. So only focus on the last step is the only thing you should focus on in your business is doing things that will make you money, all right? Don't waste your time on things that are irrelevant, that are not making you cash, or they're not getting you views that will make you cash, all right? So most people do irrelevant things they shouldn't be doing. They waste their time. And the way to not waste your time, ever, is by looking at what you're doing every single day and figuring out exactly what time you're wasting on, hire people, or just don't do it. If it's not making you money, it's a waste of your time. Let's be for real. Cash in is all that matters. I don't care what you do, but if you're trying to start out, the only thing that's going to keep you afloat is money. And that's just the truth, all right? So newsflash, money in is the most important thing, and you need to figure out how to get more of this. Any way, shape, form you can get it, you get it. And that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you guys. So again, I'm going to do a lot more whiteboard videos because I think you guys need some visual representations, and also it's easier for me to explain my points when you guys see exactly what I'm talking about. But seriously, all you need to do to run a good business is minimize the expenses, maximize the viewage, maximize the attention, and maximize the money in, and do things that'll actually make you cash. That's it. It's very simple. All right, so take notes. This is all very important, and if you apply all these to your business, I guarantee you're going to save time and you're going to make more money. It's literally that simple, guys. I'm telling you.